Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, as I said when I did the review of the Rifle model Puma armoured car, we've got, it's like buses, they come along, you wait and wait and wait, and then they all come along at once, and here they have done. So we've got the MiniArt, oh this is much anticipated, the MiniArt 35414 with full interior kit. Now, I have to say that I've got the rifles just in front of me, as you can see. That had pretty much everything in it anyway, so I'm not sure how they're going to differ. It's puzzled me a little bit, but it's going to be very, very interesting. Now, MiniArt, as many of you know, MiniArt are a company from Ukraine, but they have moved to Poland for reasons that we will all understand. And this is their very latest product, just come out, and yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what they are going to come up with. Does it say how many parts there are? I can't bother reading that. But let's have a look. One thing that they have done, they've come up with lots of different options in terms of your 35th scale Puma, and they have got quite a few to choose from here. So we have got the school Krampnitz in Germany. That's a training school. They've got the 2nd Panzer Division in Normandy in the summer of 1944 here. They've also got the Panzer Division in the summer of 1944 here, which will be Normandy. Then we've got the Eastern Front. We've got the 20th Panzer Division on the Eastern Front here, number 023. Then we've got the Panzer Division, the 7th Panzer Division in Poland, and that was in the winter of 45. So the New Year 45 they mean. And then finally we have got the Panzer Division, 20th Panzer Division in Czechoslovakia in the spring of 45 here. And then they've got some nice cartograph decals. I'm sorry, excuse me, I've just got a slight problem with the spider that's just floated down. I've just been attacked by a spider that just descended from the heavens right in front of them. Yeah. Anyway, so let's have a look at what we've got in the kit. I'll tell you what, they do make it rather easier than some do with their boxes, both of these manufacturers. So MiniArt, Poland, Ukraine as they were. Here we go. Okay, so it's one very big bag with all the sprues in, which is quite different. And then instructions separately, the sprues. I think there might be some photo etching here as well. And by the way, of course, this kit is not owned by me. This is our good friend of the channel, Stuart, who's loaned it very kindly to us. So thank you, Stuart. It's great that we get to see kits brand new like this from people like himself, and that he trusts me enough to not break anything. Oh, God forbid, touch wood. Of course not. Of course not. Right, now, MiniArt have this thing where they like to put their details at the beginning and show the actual schemes at the beginning, the colour call-out schemes. So let's have a look at this as it comes in the instructions here. I think we'll just have a little bit more light. There we go. So this is the sort of the training school in Germany. Then we've got the Normandy, 2nd Panzer Division here. You can see all the suspension, can't you? It does remind you a little bit of a race car, the design of this vehicle. And then over the page, hang on a minute, why does it only show 2? It shows 2, and I bet you it shows the rest at the back. Yep, sure enough, they're all at the back. Now I don't know why they split them, that's very curious, isn't it? Just put them all together, yeah, don't have some at the front and some at the back, that's just a bit anti-logic, and then there's more at the back, yeah. Yeah, I think we can do that, to be honest. Anyway, here is the sprue map, and this we know is going to be a lot of parts in this one, I think. Did I check? Did I? How many? Does it say how many there are? I think that they daren't tell you because there's probably so many. Not suitable, small parts. Yeah, it doesn't say how many there. No, it doesn't quote the number. I can tell you it's going to be at least 400 or 500, I'm guessing. Quite a lot. So there we go. Sprue map shows you PE parts, and well, actually, it doesn't look that bad in terms of the number of parts. It doesn't look that bad. Anyway, over here we've got building up our... They do it a little bit differently. So here's the first difference. So this time we're going to... The bottom part of the hull, which has all the transmission in it and the running gear, this is actually got to be built up. It's not pre-formed. The V lower hull part that's armoured, this you have to make it up. So it's a little bit different from the Ryefield in that respect. So there's a little bit more building. Same here with the main hull. Again, you've got to build it up. It doesn't come pre-formed. So again, it's not a bathtub style. So that's an instant obvious difference. Then we're going to bring them together a bit like we did with the MiniArt, and very similar to the MiniArt, building up all the pedal boxes and the radio gear, etc. instruments. Over here we've got our all the internal the steering mechanism. It's like a steering box that you create here, one there, and then there's the one at the front. One at the front, one at the rear. And then we have got, what is that? Oh, it's the ammunition, sorry, it's the ammunition box this. I'll zoom in a bit more so you can see this a bit better. Still from my zoom, getting some new batteries. This thing here, it's the ammunition box number 3, with all the shells in it for the main gun. Excuse me. Then we've got the seat, that rather rudimentary seat we talked about, and the other kit going in. All wiring and cooling parts coming in here, which I don't think we saw that in the other kit. At that level of detail, got all the gear sticks and the handbrakes and things here. And then it shows the ammunition box on the opposite side. It shows it open or closed. So it's got kind of an end cap on it to hopefully prevent any blast damage to the ammunition. And I've got to be honest, I don't think that gives it much protection at all. And then we've got, so there is just a little bit more detail going on here, isn't there? Like these ammunition boxes, we didn't really have that, I don't recall, in the other kit. Then we're going to build up our engine, which I believe is the Maybach V12. And yeah, there's just a little more detail, I think, here in the way that it's being constructed. Like they've got the front of the fans, they've got the main, they've got like a double fan system, double twin fans, that is to say. And there's just a few more parts to go in here. All the housings are going in. Then you've got your starter motor here. Wiring, you've got wiring going in here, which wasn't in the other. So the wiring and the cooling parts look like they're definitely included, which wasn't in the other kit. So that's all extras. And then you've got more ammunition storage boxes there. Fuel tanks going either side of your engine there, just as in the other one. And then you've got the main hatch, the escape hatch here. And yes, quite a hatch release catches and things. Yeah, a little bit more than we saw on the other kit, in fairness, isn't there? A little bit more detail here and there, a little bit more finesse perhaps. That remains to be seen, but I can see this is going to be a big long build, to be honest. Now this is retailing a lot more expensive than the other kit. So this is retailing, I think it's about another £25, thereabouts. So you're up to the sort of £76 mark, quite a lot of money. You know. So whether it's really worth the difference, I'm not too convinced yet. If this has any negatives against it, this kit, it could be the price. Lots more detail around the hatches though, as you can see. You've got the lights, again a lot more detail for the lights going in there. built up in several stages. You've got smoke grenades there, detail we didn't see before again. And then you've got all this suspension and the sort of anti-roll bars and torsion bars and things going in down below. Leaf springs, very sort of lets down. The ride won't be that special with the leaf spring, but anyway, they do the job, don't they, for a military vehicle? And those going in on the side, as you can see. And then you're going to put all these jerry cans are going to go together, complete with the straps that hold them onto the side of the hull. You've got your steering arms going in here, and the track control arms for the steering. You've got your, where my thumb is, this is the jack. And then you've got various sort of plates. There's quite a lot of detail here. You wonder if this is necessary, don't you? This is where MiniArt sometimes go a bit over the top. Various plates going in here. I think it's photo actually. Yeah, it is PE. And then you've got all the stowage boxes that are. There's a lot more detail in this area, I know. You've got full stowage box detail on both sides. All the ammunition boxes and stowage boxes are included. And then you've got over here, you can see you've got all the external doors for those stowage boxes that are going to go down the side skirt of the actual armour plated skirt that protects the top of the wheels. Then, now this is interesting, this is very interesting. Look at the way they've assembled, this reminds me of Tamiya's Mosquito. The way they've assembled the wheel in multiple layers to give multiple tread effect. Wow, that's very over the top, isn't it? But I bet it looks good. I bet this doesn't need any aftermarket tyres. That's very interesting, isn't it? So how many parts are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a sandwich of 5 layers to make up the tread pattern. How interesting. Well, I'll be. That's going to be interesting to see the plastic. Then we have all these stowage boxes and the external oil tank. Sorry, it's the exhaust, not the oil tank. Sorry, it's the exhaust going on here. Exhaust on both sides, another one on the other side there, of course. B65. All your little release levers and aerials, etc., going in here. Stowage boxes there for ammo, etc. Jerry cans going on top. Over here, more jerry cans. You've got your arms for your mirrors to go onto. Rear view mirrors. Aerial coming in here. Again, you're assembling these wheels in this five-piece process. 6 pieces if you include the interior. And various tools going on, spades. You've got your pickaxe. All sorts of stuff like that. Wire cutters. Excuse me. Finally, putting your wheels and tyres on the hull into the chassis. And then you're going to assemble your gun, and there's a lot more detail here than we had in the other kit. So you've got the full breech detail here, very detailed breech indeed, complete with the machine gun, which is assembled in 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Again, lots of internal detail on the interior of the turret, not just the hatches. And yeah, we've got here lots of, well, everything. You've even got the headphones for the commander, headphones with his ear mufflers for talking on the radio, which is impressive. So, you know, they do that, but they don't have any figure, which is a bit odd. And none of these guys are doing figures, are they, unfortunately? You'll have to get yourself some Normandy Panzer Aces from Dragon or something like that, I think. Anyway, then we've got the lower sort of turret ring area, complete with the 2 seats for the gunner and the commander. You've got the hatches being assembled here, mantlet for the gun and the gun breech coming in there, bringing it all together, adding your turret, adding your gun I should say into the turret, into the glacis, and you've got your smoke grenade discharges there, and then finally bringing it all together. The other side you get smoke discharges, aerials, there's a pistol port, and there's actually a this thing here is the collector for the spent shells, I'm pretty sure. And there we go, and then you bring your turret down upon the rest of your Puma, like so, and that's it. And it's got the colour chart, and then rather bizarrely, as I said, we then get treated to yet more schemes for no apparent reason at the back, so just put them all together. So there you go. So I would say in places it looks a little bit, well, typical MiniArt really. It looks a bit fussy and a bit overly burdened with parts and detail, which is not strictly necessary perhaps. But there we are. There we are. Let's have a look at the plastic and see what we think of that. And then I will separately. Unfortunately, this one is not a resealable base. Oh, you see, this is a bit of a... And we made it a very tight bag as well, which means that Normally when there's a bit of slack in them I can reseal it when it's not my property, and of course this one is Stuart's. I think we're going to find that extremely difficult today. We really are. So what I'm going to do, I think, is really tight this bag. Can I do it? Maybe I can. Maybe I can at this end. There we go. Bear with me. So it's somebody else's property. We can't just... I don't want to go to a hammer and tongs. I think what I actually need is to actually sit it at the end. If I can just slit it all the way, I could reseal that, I reckon. If I am very careful and don't rip the bag. Let's just exit the bag there. So there won't be any putting this back in bags. That'll be pleasing some of you that don't like to see me. Oh, there is a separate bag within. Oh, how extraordinary! A bag within a bag. That's really odd. They're loose. This is in another bag. Strange. Can I do it again? We'll do the same trick again. Why can't we just have a resealable bag, eh? That's our answer now. Yes, we can do it. We can do it. I'll do the same trick and do it down the middle. I reckon I can reseal it. Right, anyway, we got there in the end. Looks like they don't want us to get in. So, interesting stuff. Let's see what MiniArt have come up with this time. First of all, got here. Is this the photo etch? Yes, it's the photo etch. They always put it in an envelope for some reason. Not quite sure why. Here we go. So we've got things like our aerial. We have got those the jerry can, the clamps that help the jerry cans, straps. That's what most of these things are. These are the straps for the jerry cans. And then very similar to the kit, you've got the smoke dispensers there. So it's actually quite similar to the other kit, isn't it, in that respect? Very similar. We'll put that away for a second. And we'll zoom back a bit. Well, that goes back in its little envelope. Okay. Then we'll have a look at, we've got clear, again they've put it in a super tight bag. Why are they so mean? Yeah. I think I can probably get it sealed again. He says. Did that not cut it? Would blunt or something? What's going on? There we go. We're in there, we're in there. So, we have our decals. And these look quite nice, quite a variety. As we know, there's 6 schemes to choose from, so plenty to go at, and the decals do look rather nice. They're a bit flat. A bit flat, aren't they? If we're honest. But apart from that, beautiful. There's no instrumentation there though, is there? Interestingly. Then we've got our clear parts, which again, as we saw in the other kit really, it's, yeah, there's not much to say, it's just a pistol ports and periscopes, isn't it really? So we'll pop that back in there, and we shall put our decals back as well. They're pretty good with their accuracy though, MiniArt. I think again because they're in Poland, they're in a part of the world where there's probably still quite a few examples of these vehicles to actually go and see, you know, in the museums and things, having been abandoned during the Second World War. It's probably not that difficult to get their hands on. That's going to be a tight squeeze. I think I might just take that for Stuart. I think trying to reseal that could do some damage, so we'll not bother. Too risky. Now then, let's just put in there, pop it back in its box, and we can get cracking with the plastic. What have we got then? So, we are just going to steam in here, I think, because this might take a little time. Whoops. So, here we've got a lot of the small parts and things like the steering wheels. There's 2 steering wheels together there, as you can see. We've got all the box hatches, you've got the radio set there. and various levers. There's a lot of tiny parts here, aren't there? Beautifully formed, very, very nice. Some lovely details, very, very crisp, isn't it? So many parts, and wouldn't even want to dread to begin to try to name them. Almost impossible. So let me find a way of doing this. It's not going to get too confusing for everyone. So that's that one. Then we've got this sprue, which has got sprue D, and this has got the wheels and the headlamps. Nice detail on the suspension arms. Can you see those? They've done that nicely, haven't they? And again, very, very similar looking to the one from Ryfield. These parts, these drive shafts, very, very similar, isn't it? Look at it, it's almost identical. Got a leaf spring there as well. I've got a feeling that that might be replicated a couple of times, that particular sprue. Now here we've got these. This is one of the differences between the two kits, because these are open, whereas the other one they were closed. So these you can have them open and hollow. With the actual, as per the artwork, I don't know if you noticed that, the artwork where they're open and they've got the hatch on its hinges, the flap hanging down open, so open hatches, stowage compartments. But there are all the actual the door for these compartments, or the doors which hinge down. There they are. So those are really nice, that you can have a sort of a real 3D effect. This is what you pay a little bit extra for, or in this case, a lot extra, to be honest. Right, over here we have got the, again, more of the boxes and stowage compartment areas. Ammunition boxes, for example, which we know it comes with the shells, don't we? Various, I think these two are both seats, aren't they? Seats. And then there's various lids, compartment lids. Over there. Then this is the one we've just seen. So that is duplicated. That's the one we just saw, which I mentioned was duplicated. In fact, it's duplicated here several times. So, pom pom pom. Yeah, we've seen those already. That's good. Right, now then, here we've got a great big long sprue. Lots of tiny parts on it. We've got the jack here. This is part of the jack. But very fine detail. Now, I have to be honest with you. I have got to be honest with you. This is the MG42, isn't it? Yes, the barrel's different. I recognise it now. Yes, I think I know what I'm talking about this time. But there is the tiniest hint of flash on this, and it is tiny. Can you see that? Just around the outside, a bit of a shadow of it, around the bottom especially. It's just a little hint of flash. And, well, yes, and it's on the sprue, look. Now, I'm not quite convinced that they've done this in terms of the quality of the moulding quite as crisply as we saw from Ryfield, actually. But there's a lot more detail, of course. That's also part of the jack, the top part of the jack. That's that one. Then we've got, lots of sprues, aren't there? Then we've got the turret. And it's going to have a lot of detail within it, so this is all related to that. Here's your machine gun that actually fires through the turret machine gun port, and then you've got all the various little hatches. Here's your mantlet, from the mantlet for the glasses. You get your glasses here for your gun, and there is the gun here. Where's the muzzle? There's the muzzle over here, look. So we don't get any resin muzzles in this kit, unfortunately, but there we go. I'm not sure it really needs it. But. Then we've got the top of the actual the hull itself, and here we go. Not a lot to say about that really. It looks very much like the other one in the other kit, to be fair. So that's okay, no problem though. And then we've got this rather intriguing, strangely MiniArt idea of building up your... So they've got Deka, D-E-K-A, as the tyres. And this is going to be built up in five layers, like a sandwich. See that? Isn't that cool? I mean, this could be really nice actually. If it goes together really, really nicely, then it probably will look absolutely brilliant, you know. And then you've got the spare at the back, which is the one that is just in two halves. But again, it's like a male and a female join. See that just about the lip. So that should go together quite well actually, that wheel and tyre. So that's okay. Then you've got all these detailed areas for the hatches and the cover for the engine. You've got your tools here, including your wire cutters and your pickaxe, proper pickaxe there. Lots of parts, the rear bulkhead, hatch for the engine access. This hatch is so they can adjust things like the fan belt. Excuse me. And then you've got these, you've got some of these hatches for the stowage compartments here. I think that's the actual escape hatch cover, isn't it? And then you've got, what is that for? I think these are ammunition boxes, aren't they? I think so. Then over here, another huge sprue. And by the way, look at this. Now there are multiples of these. This is this very extraordinary 5-piece wheel and tyre assembly that you have to assemble, and there's many of these. 1, 2, 3. There's a whole stack of them. Look, stacks of them. Many. So that'll keep you busy, won't it? So yeah, because there's 8 wheels, so there's got to be 8 of them. Then we've got, this is another one that's repeated several times. This is the jerry can assembly, complete with its handles. Yeah, there's the handles, there's the jerry cans. There's lots of those, of course. Then we get this, which has got all the little fine parts involved. Lots of levers, and these have got the suspension arms, like actuators. We've got the back of the seats here. These two are the back of the seats. We've got spade tool. Yeah, a lot of fine parts there. Very nicely detailed. Yeah, there is just a bit of flash here and there. It's not really on the parts so much, in fairness to them. It's just hinted on the sprues. Just a sort of threat of flash. Now this is a big one. This is M sprue, and this has got the fuel tank sides you're looking at the top. 2 sides of the fuel tank, engine bell housing, and then we've got the sides of the engine, and this is where the fans go in here. Cooling fans. Then you've got various drive belts, and as I alluded to on the other kit, you've got these like a coil pack system for the V12 engine, and here's the cylinders. Looks like the sort of plenum chamber for the... is it the plenum chamber? I'm not quite sure actually, but there's a lot of detail here. Check these out. These fans, sorry, forgive me, I've just been looking at that with backlighting, these fans, and they are beautifully formed. They're so finely done, it almost looks like they're filled in, but they're not. They are hollow, trust me. I've just checked it, and they're really nicely done actually. Nicer than I was expecting. So when I put it against the backlight, you can see them all clearly hollow between each fan blade. Very nice indeed. And then there's a lot of small parts, little covers and caps, oil caps, and there you've got your starter motor. Is that the battery? Looks like that the battery, not sure. But gosh, there's a lot of parts. Oh dear, oh dear. This one is a duplication of the one we've already seen. Then we have got well, I don't know what we've got, to be honest. It's just a lot of tiny parts. I think it might again be maybe a sort of parts for an oil pump or something. Here we've got some ammunition box, stowage boxes and things like that. And here we've got the radio set. I think there's a long wave radio and a short wave. I think it's a VHF radio and a short wave radio. Again, nicely moulded. And then finally, because we've come to the end, incredibly, we've got this huge sprue, and this is the interior now, the floor of the crew compartment. Now, if you have a close look at this, you can see once again we've got that cross-hatched finish, high grip finish for the troops to walk on. And then on the other side we've got the actual sides here. We've got the sides of the hull where all the drive shafts are coming out. And some very fine moulding here with the actual vents, louvers for the cooling hatches. See that? Now actually we've got I'm glad I tilted it over. Can you see we've got some flash there within this, in the middle of it, a little bit flashy. So, and there's a little bit of flash here as well, just on that middle louvre. So they're not quite as clean with their moulding, are they? As we've seen from Ryfield, if I'm being honest with you. So, there we go. Now, I haven't tried it. I quite like the idea of the wheels having this 5-part build-up, because I think potentially that gives you a really nice looking wheel. But it's a lot of work, isn't it? And when you look at the Ryfield one with its rubber tyres, they did it so perfectly that it eliminates all that work, really. But I've got this nagging feeling that despite all these extra parts, I'm sure you've picked up on it thanks to my camera, the fineness of the moulding and the tooling is not as good, I don't think, as the Ryfield. It's not as good. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to give that 9 out of 10. You've got to bear in mind it's quite a lot of money as well. It's a lot more money. I'm not sure it's worth more money, really. Yes, there's one or two areas like the stowage boxes for the ammunition where, yeah, that's probably more detail than you've got in the Ryfield kit. But there's not much else apart from the stowage boxes down the side. They've added detail there. It's a lot more money than the Ryfield kit. It's like nearly 50% more money. So I'm not sure it is worth that extra. Do you think? I don't. So I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. It's a beautiful kit. It is. I always feel when I get a MiniArt kit, I always seem to give them a slightly negative review, and it's not deliberate, I can promise you. It's just, there's always something where they sort of make a bit of a mistake, like on the Thunderbolt with the bad glass. I don't think that's I mean, there are parts of it like those fans, the cooling fan into the engine. Well, I don't understand it because they've got those perfect. I put them up to the light expecting them to be flashy, and they're not. So why are those much bigger vents that they've got on that other sprue, because they're on 2 different sprues, that are much easier to mould in terms of the shape and everything, and they've kind of messed it up, and they've got it a little bit flashy. It's not the end of the world, you can clean it up, you know. I don't want to be too harsh on them, but they're charging quite a lot of money for this kit, and I don't quite think it merits it, really. I think if that was £10 more than the other, you'd say, well, okay, that's fair enough. I think they're just overcharging a little bit too much. Right, I can't put it all away because it's just complete mayhem, so I'm going to get the box out again. So this is the full interior kit, the MiniArt, the Sd.Kfz.234.2 Puma armoured car. A very nice subject, I have to say, and it is a very nice kit. I don't want to be too negative. Had that Ryfield not arrived just yesterday, then I'd have been probably giving it 9.5 out of 10. But again, they've been a bit strange with the instructions. There's not much data. Yeah, there's not a lot of technical data about the vehicle. Same problem, and I just don't think they've got the moulding. There's places where that's not as good as ICM, the moulding, I think. And I think the Ryfield product is the better product. Anyway, I'm going to do a separate video, a shorter one, where I'll prove the point. We'll get them side by side, some of the parts, and have a look at comparison. And you will see more detail on this for sure. But I'm not sure if it's enough for where it's going to be seen anyway. I think it's all a bit pointless, really. So I actually suspect, if I'm honest, that I'm giving it a higher rating, haven't I? 9.75 versus 9. So I would probably plumb for the rye feel of the two of them. But it is a nice kit, and it will build into, you know, there's things like the finishing. I didn't actually point that out. The finishing of the glasses for the gun. Let me just show you this, because this is an area where they have scored well. Look very, very closely, basically where my thumb is. And if you look at the finish, it's got that that metal casting sort of effect. Can you see it? It's got that mottled sort of casting effect in it. So they've done that very well, you know. I just wonder if they're not trying to overreach in some areas, trying to overcomplicate the kit a bit too much, over-detail it a bit too much. And for me, Ryefield have sort of scored just about the perfect balance. But there we go. It's a beautiful kit. Don't let me put you off it. Just try and get it at a better price. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found it interesting. I say I will do another brief, just final, while I've got them out. I'll do a cut now, and we'll have a final vid where I just compare the parts side by side before I put Stuart's back in its, try to put it back in its bags. That's going to be a challenge. And thank you to Stuart for loaning us the kits. Very much appreciated indeed. He's bought both, so he hasn't got this dilemma, has he? But it'd be interesting if you built them and put them side by side. I'm not sure they'd look a whole lot different, but of course that one you can have your stowage boxes open and all that kind of thing. Fair enough. It's strange that they call it interior kit and Ryefield call it with engine parts, and yet quite 80% of the kit is the same content, really. But I just think the finesse in the Ryefield one is maybe just a tiny bit better, if I'm honest. So there we go. That's it, folks. So it's 9 out of 10 for our friends from MiniArt. I'd like to give you more, but yeah, Flash rather let you down a little bit, chaps. Hope you'll give me a 10 out of 10 with a thumbs up. Give us a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Please come back and tune in for the quick comparison I'm going to do. See what you think and tell me what your thoughts are. Have you built them? Have you got this kit yet? I think I'd probably, for value, I'd probably go for the Ryefield. I'd just go for the straight Ryefield kit as well. I don't think I necessarily wouldn't bother with those extra wheels and tyres, weighted wheels. I think I just go for the standard kit really, and you get a bargain. So that's my verdict. Anyway, see what you think. Come back and see the comparison, and I'll convince you I'm right. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Thanks for your time, and until next time, thanks a lot, and bye for now.